Shout out to G-Man Boxing. Where's the piss bottle? It's over there.
Alright, this is an interesting one. I didn't expect to be talking about this today. Eddie Reynoso, the trainer of Canelo Alvarez, has stated that at the WBC convention, Canelo has stated that he wants to become a 5-division champion. And to do that, he would have to fight a cruiserweight, or potentially heavyweight. But cruiserweight is the division they're saying. They want to challenge Ilunga Makabu in May of next year. And the WBC apparently, of course they would by the way, have said, yeah, that's fine, they'll approve it. So potentially, we could have, imagine this people, May of next year, Canelo Alvarez versus Ilunga Makabu for the WBC Cruiserweight World title. Crazy. Now, I talked about Canelo's next move, and I didn't mention Cruiserweight because I really didn't see it happening, to be honest with you. Makabu is a good fighter, he is, and I think that the win that Harley Quinn got over him back in 2016, it's aged extremely well. You know, because Harley Quinn took care of him in 3 rounds. Yes, he was down in the first round, but apart from that split second where he got dropped, he was pretty much in control of that whole fight. He was. Since then, Makabu has gone on to beat Kudryashov. He's gone on to beat 2 other Russian fighters. One of them, I know who they are, but I can't think of their names. Like I was going to say Putin, but it's not Putin, but it's something not too dissimilar to that name. And obviously won the WBC title. Did he? No, he didn't. That was another fighter who beat Lebedev. But he went on and won the WBC Cruiserweight title. You know, he's had it for over a year now. Now, Makabu, out of all the champions, you would say he probably is the weakest. You know, Collie, Breedis, and then there's the other guy, I can't think of his name. The guy with the long name, I forget his name. But you would say Makabu is probably the easier of the champions. Now, Makabu, interestingly enough, is not a particularly big cruiserweight. There's been several fights in his career. If you go look at his box rec, you'll see that he's come in well below the cruiserweight limit. I think for the Harley Quinn fight, he was like 196, but he's been even lower than that. He's been in the 190s. So Makabu is not a massive cruiserweight by no stretch of the imagination. It wouldn't probably be out of the realms of possibility for there to be maybe a catchweight implemented, maybe 190 pounds, because Canelo, you would say, outside of camp, or outside, he's always in shape. He's probably in around the 180 anyway. In fact, he definitely is. I think he was cutting from 180 back down to middleweight. So he'd be in around the 180 ballpark. So for Canelo to face Makabu in around the 190, 195 region, it wouldn't be ideal for Makabu, maybe, but it probably wouldn't kill him. I wouldn't imagine, because again, he's not the biggest cruiserweight in the world. Like, go look at box rec, he's way lower, low 190, sometimes even bang on 190 for cruiserweight fights. And Makabu, although he's a better fighter than I think we thought, there's a fight that he had several years ago, I think it was 2015, against a very good fighter, by the way, this guy is, called Tabiso Machunu. Now, that fight's on YouTube. It's the South African commentary. It's a very good fight. Tabiso Machunu is a very short cruiserweight. He's listed at 5'11", but I don't think he is. I think he's closer to 5'9", maybe even 5'8". Probably a little bit taller than Canelo, but not much. But Machunu is an out-and-out boxer. He's a real slick... He's not too negative. He's probably not the most... he's not going to throw a million punches around, but he's an extremely slick, good defensive boxer. He's beaten guys like Lebedev, beat Evgeny Tashenko, schooled him. That's a former Olympian, schooled him. And to be fair, like, he was a 6'7". I think he won a gold medal, a heavyweight in Rio, or not? Yeah, Rio. But you're never going to find really someone as slick and as small as Makabu, or as in Machunu, in most amateur gyms, because he is a bit of a phenomenon. He's called the Rock, and he looks like he's huge. He's real heavily muscled, but very short stature. Now, he fought Makabu in 2015. You go look at that fight. Machunu was beating the crap out of Makabu. He couldn't miss. Problem, didn't pace himself. Come the 11th round, he was knackered. And he was. He was absolutely spent in the 11th round. Makabu was able to get the stoppage. And that was the fight that got him that shot at the vacant WBC title. Had it been Machunu in there against Bellew, that would have been very interesting. I'm not sure who would have won that, because Machunu had a style, I think, that would have caused Bellew problems. Definitely. That would have been very interesting. So that's Makabu in a nutshell. Him against Canelo. Makabu is a very good fighter. Would it be a case of Canelo, I don't want to say biting off more than he can chew in terms of a fighter's skill set, because he's more skilled than Makabu, certainly. But there comes a time where size really does play a factor. Would this be it? Makabu's been stopped before. He's been hurt before. Has a decent chin. He's not a chinny. Decent chin. He took some good shots from Michunu. Michunu's not feather-fisted. It's an interesting one. If it happens, I probably would favour Canelo slightly. I know people are going to say, gee, you're crazy. You're favouring Canelo to beat Makabu. Well, Makabu is up there in age. I think he's, 31, 32, maybe older. He's listed as being in his early 30s, but he looks a lot older than that. He's actually Martin Bakoli's older brother. And Martin Bakoli doesn't look his age, so you can only imagine what Makabu is. So that's interesting if it happens. Canelo is the darling of the WBC, so they would give him that shot, no questions asked. 5-weight world champion. And I personally take that, if he was to do it, and he was to beat Makabu, that, like, you look at, go from minimum weight to super flyweight. You've gone up 10 pounds. And you're what? 4-division world champion. You go with the bantamweight, you've gone up 13 pounds. You're a 5-division world champion. You go from, you're literally going from 154 to 2. You're going, what, 45 pounds? That's crazy, people. That is crazy to win world titles in that big a weight jump, if he does. Him against Makabu would be an interesting scrap. But that would be such an intriguing fight. Because Makabu can punch. He can box a little bit. He's tough. Canelo can punch too. Don't know what he'd be like a cruiserweight in terms of punching power. God knows. But he can box. Oh, man, that'd be crazy. And Makabu hasn't... he is bigger than Canelo in every... He probably would have the longer reach, I was going to say. Because it's not like he's going to be fighting someone like a Collie who's 6'5" and could just hold his arm out and keep him at bay. It's not really like that. Makabu is only about 5'10", 5'11" anyway. Damn, that's an interesting one. What do you guys think? Think that'll happen, or do you think Canelo will go light heavyweight? Or potentially Triple G versus Murata winner? Let me know in the comment section. Be interesting to know. Let me know what you think. What will Canelo do if he fights Makabu? Who do you have? Leave it down in the comment section below. Hope you enjoy it. If you could please, lads and lassies, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. For now, lads and lassies, I'll talk to you. Peace.